one of the things maybe we can start with is the stowing algorithm. For someone who's never operated a warehouse, what is stowing? Why is there a stowing algorithm? What does it do?
Yeah, so stowing is the function where after you've acknowledged the goods are in your facility and you've counted them, then now you're going to put them on a shelf, and and the next process is that somebody will pick it from there. What you're facing with is knowing where to put it in the facility so that you're, for example, like if you had a pallet of products, that pallet fits in that rack, or if you have a couple of boxes that they fit in that shelf. So that's the first part of that like decision making algorithm. And then the second piece is like how quickly is that product moving, and where are the other products that ship with it or for that client, etc., so that it's in the same relative vicinity of the warehouse, so that for the next step where somebody is going to go and like pick that item, they don't have to walk very far to be able to combine one of that item plus another item into the order. So there's a lot of different kind of decision criteria there, but it's a fun problem to have. And then the what you're looking at, and that's like on the inbound side of things, the efficiency is obviously it's measured, but it's probably not as scrutinized as well as like the effectiveness versus like there's probably a little more like focus on the efficiency of the outbound side of operations, um, because yeah, like the opportunity for error there is almost impossible.
Yeah, you're more time compressed, and obviously that's the thing you need to deliver on. I want to talk about two more examples, and then if there's another, we can go on to that. But you talked about picking. Is there a picking algorithm? What is picking? What's entailed there, and what does the algorithm handle?
Yeah, picking is when our team is essentially assembling that order and putting it in a some sort of tote or bin for it to be transferred to a station where it will be packaged. And the algorithm there is looking for efficiency into looking at all the orders that you have in that facility for that day, and one like prioritizing them based on like delivery, like if there's a certain cutoff, like if some orders need to be out the door quicker than others based on a certain cutoff. And then the second piece that it's looking at is the algorithm is trying to optimize for efficiency for visiting the least amount of locations to be able to complete, for example, like a set of 50 orders, which as that facility grows and you go from 50 to like a 300,000 to millions of square feet, like that walking time could be a dramatic walk. So trying to minimize those steps are all things that the picking algorithm kind of touches on, and it's yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
Talk about one more. I'm going to try to combine these two. You talked a little bit about before there's a packaging algorithm, and obviously I think everyone kind of understand what that is. You're looking for the right size package for whatever you want to have. But the another one that sounded related that was interesting is a batching algorithm. And I think you just touched on that a little bit. Can you talk a little about those two components, what they do and why those are important?
Yeah. So the way we think about batching is if you were to have a flash sale today and sold, I don't know, 1,000 orders, maybe 200 of those orders, the exact same makeup of order, going to 200 different, like 100 people ordered the same type of t-shirt. And for us, there is an efficiency algorithm that looks at organizing these orders in a way that like it's not simply just like it's everybody ordered a t-shirt, let's get them all and like get them out at the same time. You're looking at things as well as like those cutoff times and availability of where those goods are on the shelf, for example. Like you might not have like a pickable position that has all those units together, and you might have a more efficient way to do it. But ultimately, like if you had 200 orders of one product and you're able to go to one location and pick 200 of those items and then label those and pack them all, it is one of the most efficient processing paths. And yeah, there's a pretty complex algorithm at looking at all those orders and then creating like a workflow so that eliminates decision making of like of do I group these two together or not, or do I ship them now or later. So those are things that we geek out on all the time.